Yeah, all right, we're good. We're good. The internet's been giving me trouble like the last 4 or 5 weeks where when I start the stream, there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm just kind of letting it chill out. It's excited. It's excited because once again, we have another great show for you guys. Welcome. It is Monday night, and it is the return of our stay at home open mic series. Going over a year now that we're doing this, and of course, we're keeping it alive. We're keeping it going because this has meant so much to so many people. As always, my name is Richie Marrufo. I am the host and project director of this event, which is brought to you by the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. We are based in El Paso, Texas, and because of the beauty of the internet and being able to do this digitally, we are going to be able to connect and here's some work with and collaborate with people from all over the world. I'm truly excited about that. It has been a really great joy, and otherwise a really crazy past year. Um, as always, the show is a platform. The whole point is just to support other people's creative endeavors and works. So we want to support that, and you can do that in many ways. So we got people live on the Zoom chat. As always, if there is a line that just hits you, that resonates with you, that you really love, maybe just like the idea behind it, maybe maybe you can relate to it, or maybe you learn something new, maybe you just like the way it sounds. There's a lot of pretty sounding lines that we hear. There's a lot of heavy hitting ones. If it affects you, if you feel it in any way, I definitely encourage you guys to like just type it out in the chat, and that's great feedback for whoever's performing because then they see like, oh yeah, okay, that line meant something to someone. Of course, you guys are also welcome to do that. Those of you watching on YouTube, in fact, it's heavily encouraged. I want you guys to say hi, in the YouTube chat. Just say hello, where you're listening from. It's always great to have you guys listening week in and week out. I know we have regulars, and oftentimes we have someone just tuning in for the first time, and they're curious, like, what is this? It's a whole open mic online. That's crazy. But we've been making it work. It's unique. It's distinct. You're gonna hear all sorts of distinct voices and backgrounds and opinions. And that's really just the world at work here. All right. So we're gonna go in and kick things off. We do have a lot of East Coast peeps at the top of the show, just to let them go on a little early because they're 2 hours ahead, So we're gonna show them some love and appreciation. We're gonna go ahead and start in New York City with Andy Markert. Andy's been coming through. It's always great to have him. Welcome back, Andy, to the show. Good to have you, man.
Well, thanks. Hi, guys. I feel like I just saw a quarter of you. And so I'm actually going to read this poem that we're going to take this off my face. Sorry, we're going to go back to gallery view. All right. I've never read this poem at an open mic, and I've only ever shared it with one person. Content warning for sexually explicit description. If you have babies with you that don't want to hear this, move them. Okay. This poem's called Toxicity, or A Vocabulary of Conquest, or My Safe Word is I Love You. All right. The first time she asked me to call her a whore, to turn her into a cum slut, I did. If I'm anything as a man, it's good at taking directions like they were orders. Little boys always play at war because it's the only language male bodies ever understand. Because as a child, everything is black and white. There are heroes and villains, and good guys always won. My first ever fight, I tried to swing a punch like I saw in the movies because Indiana Jones only ever needed one punch. It wasn't till I was in this fight with another child twice my size, I found out my punches were useless. I won, but only because I managed to smash his head into a locker, and suddenly something primal clicked deep in my body, and I realized I might not be the good guy. Good guys don't win like that, but everyone was cheering how the little kid in braces defeated his tormentor, reduced to a teen coming of age movie where for a shining moment of broken bloody knuckles, I was the hero. My language reduced in what I could break, what I could smash with my fists and later with my words. learning to turn body and voice into a sledgehammer of violence turned communication, a vocabulary of conquest, learning to fuck like fighting, get rough, exploit touch, find the moments to take you off balance. I might not be much to look at, but say the right combination of words and you'd be surprised how easily my 5'6" frame commands a room, consumes the air like fire, and can bend a body to my will. The second time, she called me sir, asked me to wrap my hands around her throat, pull her hair. I learned that this male body knew instinctively what to do, and that's not something I'm proud of. I'd like to think that somewhere deep inside me is someone gentle, someone who thinks before he speaks, my nature a battleground between a genetically reinforced toxicity and the kindness of strangers, their kindness worn like a beautiful tattoo over the pale drab whiteness of my baser nature, the beauty of a Monet colored with the wild eyes of a child, their kindness created in me the forest of my gentleness, soft words like moss strewn along a valley floor of my smile, where I learned my hands can touch with a soothing purpose and create from their gentle labor beauty. The third time, she asked me to slap her, spit in her eye, degrade her, bind her to the bed, fuck away her voice, and leave her broken. I stopped. I asked her to let me touch her like she belonged, to touch her like she was the new center of my map, wrapped her in honey words, whispered intimate secrets of what parts of her made me reveal. I asked to celebrate her, to turn my deep craving carnal lust into a ballet of gentle kindness and love, to let me show her how I needed her. She said I was the first man that ever asked for that, and left that night shocked that belonging could be the kink her body could sing to. And that's that poem.
Damn, man. Wow. Did you have another one, man?
You're the man, Kit.
Crazy stuff, man. Oh, my bad. I wasn't sure if you had that other one.
Out on me there. All right. And is that my time, or do I have time for one more?
Yeah, man. Go and get one more.
Oh, sweet. Okay, we're gonna do one of the ones that I haven't done from my little Tinder book. Let's see if I've got it. All right. So somebody in Tinder asked me if I would write them a poem about pomegranates. And I grew up in the South and never had a pomegranate, so that took a second. And this is what came out of that prompt. Sometimes the hardest to open finds music on the tongue. Life is like a pomegranate. Whoever said it was like chocolates had an easier time of it than I. I never really believed the movies or what they told me at church. Empty platitudes never gave me much hope. Aren't we each hard rind? The essence of who we are hidden in segments deep inside us. We divide away our longing, our hope, our nightmares, fill our tongues with sour notes and sweet contrast. Sometimes leaping between the two, wrap our lives and experience into a million tiny wonders we share one at a time. Perhaps my body hides the secrets. Perhaps a set of hands can crack open the hidden walls of my mind and find the time through touch and persistence to crack through an exterior built of years of hardening, to once more find the seeds of my joy. And that's it. That's a short one. All right. I love you guys. I'm going to call that time and pass it along to the next person. I love you.
Yeah, yeah. Appreciate it, Andy. Really quick. I know you got your Instagram. Where can people find more of your work?
Yeah, you can find my work on my Instagram at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's. I will chuck that in the chat. And yeah.
Awesome, man. Even the after promo, we're gonna chuck that in the chat. I love that. Awesome. Shout out to Jen Lucetto watching on YouTube. She's an awesome filmmaker in person. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Yeah, and I'm gonna also post that on the YouTube chat as well. Andy Meerkat, follow him on Instagram. That was fire, man. What a way to start off the show. We're gonna just keep it going. We're gonna keep rolling into it. By the way, yeah. So each performer, if you guys want like 2 or 3 pieces, keep it around 5 to 7 minutes. A little bit of more time, and then of course, I'm gonna ask you guys to share something at the end. Maybe something that you're working on, a place where people can find you online and support your work, just because that's obviously something we want to do, especially maybe people watching. So it gets repetitive sometimes. We do it all the time, but maybe this is the time where someone new peeps in and you get some new fans, new supporters. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the land of Cleves, where we have our good old friend, Urban Cowboy Poet there. Once again, welcome to the show. Great to have you. How you doing, man?
Thank you. It's great to be had. I'm doing great. Got some legends for you.
Yeah. All right.
Um, it's an ominous day in the neighborhood, a dangerous day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? I know a secret about the man you watched while wearing diapers. Your beloved Mr. Rogers was a Navy SEAL sniper. He'd hide in trees and sand dunes for one specific purpose: to send the enemy to his death with his speedy delivery service. They say that he had eagle eyes and that his nerves were steely. He worked alongside his wingman, Mr. Deadeye McFeely. He had superpowered senses, his eyes and nose and ears. But the pressure finally got to him. It was time to change careers. There must be more to life than patriotic assassination. Maybe I could work with children, spark their imagination. Killing was no longer fun. He made his big decision. He'd teach kindness and understanding to kids on television. He wore cardigans on his show in reds and greens and blues. He wore them just to cover up his full body tattoos. If you tell me he weren't hiding artwork up his sleeve, you are living in that there neighborhood of make-believe. His TV crew do anything for the kind old man named Fred. They knew if they crossed him, they just might wind up dead. He was beloved by his audience, the offspring of baby boomers, but there were urban myths about him and some nasty rumors. Some say he were a pedophile. Those people just don't know. There was a reason there were no kids on Mr. Rogers' show. It was a terrorist crash the set. Fred would have to take him out. They couldn't risk no collateral damage with children all about. If he had offered you a job, would you join his crew or cast? Despite his goodwill message, you couldn't forget his past. He'd drop bodies left and right, all in one day's labor. Would you be his? Could you be his? Will you be his neighbor? Thank you. There's some weird legends there on the tabloids.
Yeah, I hadn't heard these until your piece.
What?
Yeah, I hadn't heard these a bunch of these until you started sharing some of them.
Yeah. I got another one about a real person. It may be the only two about real people, but I'm a little throat thing. I was trying to record some videos at home, but my throat wasn't behaving. Dead might not be dead when it comes to old Walt Disney. He's the guy that invented imagination, isn't he? Cancer had destroyed his lung. It seemed his days were ended. But this man of vision had a plan to get his time extended. Uncle Walt had himself froze in 1966. The idea to suspend his life till science found a fix. He'd hibernate till doctors made a cure for his lung cancer. He still directs the family business through a necromancer. Disneyland is the location of his cryonic birth. Ain't no better place to chill than the happiest place on earth. He told his family, don't you fret, because I got this all planned. They'll find a cure and wake me up in Tomorrowland. Under Pirates of the Caribbean is where I want to be. Yo ho, a second life for me. I don't care how long it takes until I see the light. I'll have a nice long snooze like Sleeping Beauty or Snow White. When I went to that there magic kingdom with my grandson, I met Walt's ghost wandering around the haunted mansion. He told me how his body wound up down below in deep freeze. I encouraged innovation. My employees aimed to please. One pinned a suggestion on a corkboard with a thumbtack. That's how we began to plan to imagineer my comeback. Walt said, I see I still bring joy to modern boys and girls. And just like the song, I want to be part of your world. There's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow waiting at the end of every day. And I'm just a kid at heart and I still want to play. When I'm reborn, I just might find myself a new young wife. To be part of that there circle, the circle of life. If Walt Disney does return, is it a miracle of cryonics or just the whole world being fooled by Disney animatronics? Be ready when they thaw him out if you want to see old Walt. They'll release him for a couple of years, then it's back in the Disney vault. Thank you.
All right, man. Coming straight from that Disney vault. Tomorrow and tomorrow and Tomorrowland. Heck yeah. So how can people tuning in find out more of your work? And I know you got your cool YouTube channel and everything.
YouTube channel, Urban Cowboy Poetry, and Facebook, Urban Cowboy Poetry. And like I said, I'm trying to record some more. I've been writing new ones. I'm recording new ones. As soon as my throat clears up, get those out. Can't hear you. You're muted.
I was muted. I was muted. Yeah, I was trying to communicate telepathically and I failed miserably. My Wi-Fi failed. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I forget. I have to unmute. But thank you, Greg. Appreciate that, man. For that, and check out that YouTube channel, Urban Cowboy Poetry. It's pretty cool stuff, and I'm looking forward to always more music too. Got to come with instruments. Last week, so if you guys don't know, oftentimes after we finish these online open mics, a bunch of us we end the live stream, we end the recording session, and we just kind of hang on and talk, and random conversations always abound. Sometimes they get serious, and sometimes they're super silly, and of all sorts. But sometimes we have random jam sessions with which never really worked through Zoom. But last week, everybody pulled out some instruments and
Right.
we made some noise. That's what we did. It was
Well, I got one for my birthday last.
Yeah, that's right.
I got a sax for my birthday, so I brought it out last week.
That was fun. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go ahead and stick around on the East Coast for a little bit. We got a couple more peeps before we maybe head a little bit more west in terms of the U.S. at least. And we're gonna go ahead and bring up Deadpan Lizzie, and another poet from NYC. Deadpan, what's up, Lizzie? How you doing?
I'm okay. How are you guys? I hope everyone's doing well tonight. I have one piece. It's called Prompts. Some dislike writing for a prompt. What does that even mean? Life is a prompt. Everything we touch and pass by is a prompt. Inventions are a prompt. The dog barking outside you wish would be quiet. The mythical G and Z trains passing by in the middle of the night. Because you do not know if you dreamed it or if it really happened. As a native New Yorker, I'm saying it was a dream. Your neighbor's having loud sex. As you lie in bed listening to them, you start to think, he obviously does not know how to pleasure her. Her orgasms sound like a lesbian fucking a man. Has she ever noticed me before? Should I try to catch her by the mailboxes? Are they married? I can't remember either wearing a ring. I know I'm better in bed than him. He's already finished? Unsurprising. All of this is a prompt, maybe for a poem. This poem is a prompt. So it is ignorant to say you do not care for writing for a prompt. You may not like a specific theme. That's fair. But why? Is it because it makes you connect to certain emotions, ones that are hard to process? Art is how we allow ourselves to write about the hardest obstacles. Notice I did not say it makes our art better. I do not care for art competitions. How is one type of art better than another? It is all personal. You can say art is not personal. You cannot say art is not personal. When the pen turns, the letters press into the keyboards, the paintbrush glides on the canvas, the notes flow out of the body. It is all personal. It is all a prompt. Life is a prompt, unpredictable prompts. But those are the best prompts. We must be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Easier said than done, but not impossible. Nothing is impossible, and nothing is ever finished. I repeat, nothing is ever finished. Life is a prompt. That's just reality. I may be deadpan reciting this, but I know my words hit hard. Thank you.
Awesome. Deadpan with the hard-hitting words. That's a fun piece.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. I was rocking the beanie as well. So how can people find your work online? I know you got your Instagram that you like to share, right?
Yeah, I don't have my little sign because I'm out on Long Island at my folks' house and not in Manhattan where I left it. But you can find me on Instagram at ES_Strauss, and I'll drop it in the chat. That's where I share the most on social media.
Hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you for that piece. Yeah, I like that centered around the prompts. And I'm gonna go in and actually share that on the YouTube live stream as well. Yeah, just so
Thank
people
you.
can be like, oh yeah, I'll give her a follow. Instagram. All right, sweet. All right, hope everyone's doing well. We got lots of performers. I'm really excited to hear what everyone's bringing today. We're gonna go ahead and stay on the East Coast, and we're gonna check in with our main man from Maine, Maine with an E. It's time for Generalissimo. That's right. Let's go ahead and welcome him to the stage. How you doing?
I'm trying. Hola, everyone. Let's see what we have for you. Bear with me for a second. I have this. We were talking with Lee about all the wildlife in the desert, and this is about my Uncle Sam, why Samuel Harris Paplanus sentenced several woodpeckers to death by guillotine. My Uncle Sam's yard existed in the Tucson desert. One of his neighbors had a burro that often hollered for no reason at all. Uncle Sam claimed it was the reincarnation of the late Minnie Pearl. Bobcats and roadrunners were visible through the sliding glass door past the stone-tiled patio from his tastefully furnished mid-century modern den. Bare mesquite trees looked like a living driftwood art installation. The proud saguaro cacti resembled an Alvin Ailey troupe in mid-dance. When woodpeckers arrived as if they were hired by Hitchcock to peck the saguaros down to their skeletons, Uncle Sam called them cactus murderers and said they deserved the guillotine. This is a brand new poem called How Many Decibels is a Dropping Pin? The sound of validation is often a simple sigh, a human-generated gentle breeze of satisfaction, a nice, quietish, self-induced pat on the back. This piece is an older piece. It's called Chicago. The car broke down halfway to Chicago. A winter wind was blowing. No snow was snowing. So I stuck out my thumb, not knowing what was to come. Took a magic carpet ride, absent magic, and the windy city wasn't quite as pretty as I thought it would be. I rode the road home fast and free through rain, snow, and sleet. My feet got soaked, but they always seemed to know how to find their way back to dry and clean. The car wasn't mine, so it must have been a sign that the sun don't shine for only me. After all, flowers gotta grow, wind will always blow, and people will sing songs no one else will know. Others will write poems no one else will read. Some poems will never find their way to paper, lost in thought streams of poets, treading water through their thoughts. Some say a poem is just a poem. A song is just a song. The world is what it is, and life goes on and on. But every thought may be a poem, and every poem on a page should be read by a million different people, a million different ways. And every poem may be a song that can be sung by a million different people, a million different ways. Dreams happen when we sleep, even happen when we're awake. The daytime sun always shines when somewhere else the moon and tides align. I'm always swimming through my thoughts because they get tangled in the air I breathe. This is why when life starts making sense, my senses take their leave. I believe the car was a metaphor without a meaning, and every poem I think up is an open door I can choose to close or just walk through. After all, flowers gotta grow and wind will always blow. But a poem is never just a poem. A song is never just a song, and Chicago will always be Chicago. Pray tell, who is the dandiest lion of them all? This is the time of year, lawns of green grass fear, when bright yellow dandelions spring from the ground and appear. They have yet to transform their petals into fine feathers to be disappeared by human breath or windy weather. Their leaves have yet to produce salad greens, but their flowers can be used in rice and stews to dye such food sunshine-colored hues. They can be tossed raw into chicken, potato, and pasta salads for pops of color and texture added. They can be used for sweet floral wine, which is always worth the fermentation time. Or they can be left alone to paint polka dots in the grass and grow leaves for summer salads to nurture our bodies and minds as we sip on early spring dandelion wine. Just a couple shorties here. The futility room. I spend so much time waiting. The time I don't spend waiting seems futile. The art of agreeing to not disagree. I might agree with something I don't fully understand, as long as I can understand that what I'm agreeing with isn't disagreeable. And finally, the pinnacle of knowledge. If I knew anything worth knowing, I would know what I knew was truly worth knowing. Thank you, everyone. Thank you very much, Richie, for letting me in here tonight.
What's that?
I said thank you for letting me in here tonight.
Oh yeah, man. Of course, always. It's always great having you, man. The great connector, uniter. I know you've invited so many people, among others, right, to join these Monday night mics. And what do you have going on, man? Or as always, how can people
Oh
connect with
my
you
lord!
online?
Me and Dane Entz and Michael Schindler this Sunday have put together a little thing called, I have to look it up and because I have it here, called the Barbed of the Bardo. And it's part of the Stay at Home Friend Fest in Glasgow, Scotland. It's Sunday, May 23rd. And I have all the times. I'm going to copy that right now and put it in the chat. And I'm trying to put it in the chat here. And yeah, it's run by Erin Gannon. If any of you know who she is, she is from San Francisco. She's getting her master's in creative writing in Glasgow right now. And so we're going to be a feature. We're going to have an hour and a half between the three of us, and it's going to be a really wonderful, fun event that we're putting together. So bear with me 1 second. There we go. And that's it. It's called the Barbed of the Bardo. These are the name of our troop. We all have our own beards, and we're
That's
all
awesome.
some sort of bards, but a little bit different from each other, to say the least.
I dig it, man. That's really cool. Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you. And we can give credit for the name to Mr. Schindler because he came up with it.
That is a perfect transition because guess who's next up on the list? That's right. You've already heard him name dropped. We got Mike Schindler in the house joining us from Denver. One of the Beardos. What's going on, man? I think you're muted.
Yes, I don't know. I would say beer delicious or something if I was Eddie, but all is well. But yeah, this should be an interesting little thing, and I'm just throwing into the chat here a couple other things. On the 11th, I got a feature. They call me Mitch, and then as always, I'm going to plug lighthousewriters.org. That we're getting closer and closer to Lit Fest at the beginning of June. So a lot of the great classes are already filling up. So go ahead and click on that link and get into some of them before they're all filled up. That being said, I'm going to do a couple pieces. And this first one is an ottava rima, and it's called Borders. From the first false line between two encampments, delineating space between us and them, the deadly dualism this lie invents divides true nature's family on a whim, enriching one's fortune at neighbor's expense from the Rio Grande to Jerusalem. Clouds glide free and rivers unencumbered flow, while humans partition ourselves here below. What corrupted logic exists that prevents understanding, leads tribe or state to condemn, to conquer, to take, to wall up, or to fence, senseless descent into divisive mayhem? Mistaking articles of faith with vestments, although each name of God is a synonym. To keep up pretense, maintain the status quo, the world's held hostage to braggadocio. And this next one is called Hope Is. Hope is to be longed for, dreamed of, a vigil set to await its coming. Hope is to be searched for, to mount exploratory voyages for, following each clue and bent twig of evidence. Hope is to be fought for, defended against despair, stinging needles of falling hail, hate's dull axe pounding against the door. Hope is to be celebrated even before its coming, halls strewn with petals for its bare feet to walk on. Hope is to be caressed, the most gentle grasp that does not crush, two forms holding up the other in silent reverence. Hope is to be free to come and go, knowing the cold days apart will lead to a reunion. Hope is the most welcome guest, the most adored spouse. Hope cannot be bound. It will come to you in its own time and on its own terms. Hope will not give or accept a ring or token, will not be a slave to any spoken incantation, whether following in its tracks or opening your gates and windows to allow it entrance. Hope may be elusive, but is no illusion. Its one kiss will exceed any elixir. Its breath, the silent song that makes survival possible. Hope is a trickster that steps out from the shadow, letting you know it has been here all along when you thought it was lost or torn away. Hope laughs in sympathy, never with disdain. Its joyous trill to pull lips into a smile. Hope sleeps soundly and soundlessly, but awakes to find you and teach you new songs. Okay, and as is normal, I am going to put on the hat, and this is one of my favorite songs by, in my opinion, one of easily the greatest living lyricists, and it's called House Where Nobody Lives. There's a house on my block. It's abandoned and cold. Folks moved out of it a long time ago. And they took all their things and they never came back. Looks like it's haunted with the windows all cracked. And everyone calls it the house where nobody lives. Once it held laughter, Once it held dreams. Did they throw it away? Did they know what it means? Did someone's heart break? Or did someone do somebody wrong? Well, the paint was all cracked. It was peeled off the wood. Papers were stacked on the porch where I stood. And the weeds had grown up just as high as the door. There were birds in the chimney and an old chest of drawers. Looks like no one will ever come back to the house where nobody lives. Once it held laughter. Once it held dreams. Did they throw it away? Did they know what it means? Did someone's heart break? Or did someone do somebody wrong? So if you find someone to have, someone to hold, don't trade it for silver. Don't trade it for gold. I have all of life's treasures, and they're fine and they're good. They remind me that houses are just made of wood. What makes a house grand ain't the roof or the doors. If there's love in a house, it's a palace for sure. Without love, it ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives. Without love, it ain't nothing but a house where nobody lives.
Right on, man.
Mr. Tom Waits.
Yes, a tip of the hat to you, sir. That was a great Tom Waits. Lots of people loving that. Thank you, Mike. And of course, you got all your promo and stuff done at the beginning, straight down to business. They're in the chat. Hell yeah, man. Great having you, man. Thank you, Mike. Peace. All right, let's see. Let's go ahead and see who we have on the list. Yeah, so I'm typing out on the in the Zoom chat. I'm kind of getting like the next 4 or 5, just so you guys have a heads up. If you guys are on the call and you do want to sign up, let me know. Get you on the list. Get you on the sign up sheet. But right now we're gonna go ahead and go to Washington D.C., where we have our friend Mr. Ed Poetastic. What is up, Ed?
What's up, Richie? My favorite host that deserves a toast that we love the most, that goes coast to coast.
Oh snap! I like it. Get your rhyme on, man. Get your rhyme on. I'm gonna get that toast.
Sure, no problem. My name is Ed Poetastic, and I want everyone to feel so fantastic. I have a open mic that's tomorrow. Please come. If you do, you'll see a wonderful, poetastic, horrific, and incredible roller coaster. I'm doing something you never seen before. Please come, and you'll be begging for more. All right, I'm gonna begin. This is called Burnt Darkness. I see a red door and I want to paint it black. It's the ink in my core, negativity that keeps in stacks. I see women dressed in feisty candy red. I know I'll turn to sand, holding my heart by a thin thread. So many chirping flowers, blowing careless whispers, false hopes or towers, only offers shade, can't simply deliver. Hunks of annoying animals, flashing bright eyes, heavier than steel or anvils. Be careful, don't want to be one with the flies. I see people, eyes colored in bleach, the most crankiest of beetles, silent but leech and leech. Some tasty bean brew, make it black. Give me an exciting view, one big energized heart attack. Give me some oil, my pale bones starve. Natural as the dark, dirty soil, dry my barking scars. Toss away the colors, they sizzle my eyes. No more bright summers, let my sleeping dogs die. Pitch night makes me complete. Cold warms me too much. Silence of bitter relief. A light ghostly touch. Bodies tossing in a twilight abyss, tucked in a darkened cocoon. Basking in burnt mist underneath a chalky moon. Inky shells lay in bed, offer silent company. Somewhere to rest my dark head. Empty hands open for a drop of sympathy. All right. This another one is called They Say About You. They say about me, I really don't care. Names are only labels. They're not here or there. Labels don't instantly disable. Don't wallow in dark despair. Know what some say about MLK and Gandhi? It really wasn't pleasant or nice. They help on a deep, passionate degree, even for a painful price. People need to understand words are only words. They can be either iron or sand. Don't be too disturbed. They can't command or demand. When someone says anything bad about you, pay them no thought or mind. They don't know what you do. Leave their dark clouds behind. Get lost in adventures in your view. Do not mind them. Be aligned while they stay blind. They don't control your fate. Can't push your buttons or pull your strings. Let them bask in their self-hate. Pursue your unique golden wings. We can all relate. Your life is whatever you create. All right, and here's my last one. This is called Our Galaxy of Love. I want to release our illuminating love to the far reaches of space, like the sun. It will leave the whole wide world instantly stunned. Your lips taste so heavenly like the vast Milky Way, while I taste your pink celestial road on each and every darkest day. The remnants of our love are the flickering, glittering stars that teleport us to different planets like Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, and Mars. Your essence outshines my most empty, blackest holes. With my cosmo heart instantly explodes. Our passionate tears are the sparkling northern lights, while it reminds me that I'm always out of sight. The meteors are lyrics that I sing to you, my shooting star, while lost in you, here, near, or far. Your imagination is deeper than our epic cosmic sea, while you're being the personal embodiment of my stellar fantasy. The seven rings I give to you brighten our darkest nights, that will cast away our pitch black frights. My feelings for you are vivid, luminous, and colorful as the quasar lights, which can fuel our rocket to newer heights. The shooting comet is our laughter to the funny jokes, but sometimes Haley Comet says a whimsical notes. The sun is our beacon of blazing crimson romantic fun, while the Big Bang represents our hearts fusing into one. To you, my solar system, I love you to infinity and beyond. Let's create a new, brighter, and luminous dawn. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Definitely cool stuff, man. And definitely, do you have the link for tomorrow's event?
Oh heck yes. Thank you. Thank you, Richie, my man. Always making us so can make us so outstand.
Awesome, man. I always think about that Scarecrow TED Talks joke. Why did the Scarecrow give a TED Talk? Because he was out standing in his field. Yeah, I saw that one.
I love
Cool,
the
man.
jokes.
Yeah, you inspired me from last week. No, I saw that one from, I believe, a Sarah Kay performance. If you guys know that one. Yo, so Ed, how can people find you online who are seeing you and hearing you for the first time?
Oh, sure. You can follow me at Eddie Foreman on Facebook. You can follow me at IG on Ed Foreman 92. Remember, if the mic is right, I'll be there to shine my potastic insight. So please, I wish everyone a safe, healthy, and good night.
Man, I'm glad you are part of these Monday night shows, Ed. Much love, and
Much
you're
love, bro.
man, like it's cool. Like every time I see a screenshot of an open mic, I see Ed there. You know, I'm like, oh yeah, look, there he is. It's kind of like a kind of a fine Waldo of the online mics. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I'll see a bunch of you guys. It's really cool. It's really fun to see how many online events there are and what everyone's got going on. And it's still growing. There's more coming. In fact, our next performer is going to start hosting one on Wednesdays. But I'll let him talk about it. And of course, do an awesome, amazing performance like he always does. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and go to the Meadowlands, New Jersey. Let's go and welcome Nick Paleologos to the stage. What is up, Nick? Welcome back, man.
Hey, Richie. Glad to be back. Yes, Jersey Jesus is here. All right. Announcement time before I get started. So this Saturday, I will be hosting at the Word is Right in place of Marissa. Just that way y'all are aware and everything like that. And there is going to be 2 dope features there. Complicated Passions and Fishnet Poet, a.k.a. Poet Con. So, get over there. You get to see Poet Con and Complicated Passions, and you get to see me. Come on, that's awesome. All right. So I got 3 for y'all tonight. The first one is actually one I don't think I've ever performed before. So I'll get this one out of the way. This one's called Escaping Orange. Have you ever tried to escape prison? It's like hugging barbed wire and concrete, crushing, compressing against your chest. It's like a million paper cuts without Neosporin. It's like your insides are burning with anxiety, with the prison bullies staring at your ass, wondering who will get turn to fuck you while you sleep. It's like trying to shed skin like chameleon vision, trying to make another incision because it's an indecision of what way to escape. You have a map. Those concrete walls became a crystal prison, no longer a prison. So you baton pass the stats and figure out your route, no longer maced or handcuffed or ball and chained. You shaw and shank for redemption from years of torment just to get back to society. It wasn't society you were getting back to. You were just escaping yourself. That was one. This next one, I'm gonna do this one here. This one's called, I did this one actually earlier today. This one's called Unholy Trinity. The Armenian genocide has been officially recognized by the United States. That means the Assyrian, Armenian, and Greek genocides of the Unholy Trinity have been officially acknowledged by the United States. You know that I learned something about you, America? You can acknowledge the sins of another nation or another empire, but you pull the thorns out of others' eyes to add to your own kaleidoscope vision of your own atrocities. The Trail of Tears, Black Wall Street, Japanese internment camps, and many more. Can you look at yourself as the shit idea sandwich you are instead of an ice cream sundae? And you don't teach in history textbooks, making sure we repeat and repeat the same errors over and over again. You point out what genocide is, but commit it anyways, in the name of toxicity, white supremacy, and manifest destiny. So don't try to disguise this in the name of God. That was 2. And I did this one many times, so I'll do, you know what, I'll do this one. I don't think I've done this one either. I actually made the first one, and this last one that I made was actually made in a Ron Mark Thompson's workshop, Ekphrastic poetry, and this is what came out of it. This one's called Colosseum. Stop. Look at me. I obstruct your view. Stone vision of Spartan subversion. I am the catalyst to your inspiration, to drop kick you down the pit of misery. Dilly dilly, crash landing to broken body so you can create your pieces and piece your humble pie back together, for your enemies to taste bitter with each bite, for your friends to enjoy blissfully with each nibble. That is, if you climb out of the pit, and if the spikes don't kill you first. I am in the concrete jungle where we swallow athletes, actors, and actresses, and musicians, even poets whole. And if I regurgitate and vomit you out, you failed. And if I digest your words, congratulations, you made it. If you can unclench my arms to 2 thumbs up, you did more than what any gladiator could ever do. Just be careful. The lions in this jungle will always try to kill a new king or queen in this Colosseum. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Nick, that was awesome. The real Nick P, the place to be. Yeah, dude. I like the new mic setup too. I kind of missed the notebook throwdowns. You definitely can't do that to the mic.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. I could do this, and I could just like catch it and everything. But I need to be like standing up and everything, just like throw that and catch that out and everything like that. Like how like the musicians do it and everything like that. Like how they like throw the mic and stuff like that out there. Yeah, but thanks for having me, Richie. It's been a pleasure to be here. If you want to catch more of me, you can follow me at the real Nick P on IG. I'm also follow The Word Is Right and like them on Facebook too as well. My show is gonna be coming up June 2nd. That is the first Wednesday of June. That is nearly 2 weeks away. Shit's getting real right now. And also, like I said, I'm hosting this Saturday at The Word Is Right. Those two awesome features, including your own PoetCon. I think that's. Oh, and I also have a feature coming up myself, June 5th. Actually, that's going to be coming up. I'll get more details for you as soon as possible. Thank you all for having me.
Wonderful, man. Awesome, awesome. Definitely check out The Word Is Right, the real Nick P on IG, and go check it out. Yeah, Nick's amazing. I got to go to the show last week when he was hosting. Definitely got to make it out to more of them and check out the new show June 2nd. It's gonna be a Wednesday show. That's exciting. So what we're saying is you can go to something every single night of the week. You know, during the day, right? Midday. There's something for everyone. And if you start following these peeps, you'll get to you know catch a little bit where that's going on. So definitely do that. What's up to Andres online? I'm checking out on YouTube, as well as Sandy. Thanks for tuning in. Great to have you guys checking out the live stream. We're gonna go ahead and go to. All right, hey, we're gonna go to India. That's right. We have Unmesh in the house, and he's got an open mic that's really fun that I'm trying to make it out to. But right now he's gonna share some pieces. Unmesh, what's up, man? Welcome back.
Hey Richie, thanks man, thanks a lot. Hello everyone. So yes, here we go. Okay, where's it? Okay. Shady corridors of power. Shady corridors of power, salivating, roving eyes of unshakable pillars of bureaucracy corruption. That was the first one. Second one, tiptoeing through his life. Tiptoeing through his life, he hurt none till he saw the crushed toes. That was the second one. The third one, room full of debris of memories. Room full of debris of memories. He left to make room for himself. He left to make room for himself. This one is a slightly longer one. Like a river flowing nonchalantly in one direction. Through valleys and mountains. Sometimes laughing loudly as the waterfall, sometimes crying silently like water in a pond, survived the parched lands, deserts, loveless nights, memories of loved ones kept him alive. He lived for his memories. Memories served him well. Summer spent waiting for the rain. Lips were parched as the land. Every drop of water worth its weight in life. He didn't even waste his tears. Why waste tears for the things unchanging? Things did not change. With time he changed. Old things still mattered. Life made more sense. Change do change you. Sometimes status quo changes you beyond recognition. Sometimes status quo changes you beyond recognition. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, the intensity of your readings every time, man. I get envious. Like I'm like you just channel something, and I love it every time. And it was such a well-timed line about the laughing as loudly as a waterfall with your background looking right there with a nice flow. So how can people find you online, and more importantly, check out your online open mic?
Yeah, I just forgot about it. Yes. So you can find me online, Instagram, Unmesh Mohitkar, FB Unmesh Mohitkar. And then I've got book Light Shadow Life on Amazon. And yes, the open mic on Saturdays, 8 p.m. India. I think it's around 10:30 a.m. EST. I will put it in the chat. But thanks a lot. Thanks, everyone. You have been a wonderful audience. Thank you. Just enjoying it.
Awesome, man. Yeah, great having you as always. And I gotta check it out. That's for us here in the Mountain Time. That's like the breakfast mic. Have a little coffee with your open mic and poetry. But it's gonna be awesome, man. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Unmesh, appreciate you, man. Let's see. We're gonna go ahead and keep it going. All right, we got this Somok in the house. Hell yeah. All right, cool. Looking at the list now, we're gonna go to El Paso once again. So we are the Barbed Wire Open Mic Series, and this is the stay-at-home open mic. We are based out of El Paso, and so I'm really proud of like all the poets that we have been able to bring in, all the performers from El Paso, and been able to connect with everyone. But you know, we've also been able to meet some poets in during this from El Paso, and that includes our next performer. And I'm always happy to hear what they bring to the table. And today we're gonna poetry from Lee. Lee in the house. What is up?
Hey.
We had
Oh boy,
also an
I'm glad we
internet
have
thing,
the
so we got to
internet
make sure.
connection back.
There you are.
Yay. Okay. So I do bring finally something old, something new, something borrowed, and always blue over here. So I'm gonna start with something old, and I'm pretty sure he is on the YouTube chat and he's listening. So this is for my husband. Let me just go back to that one. So this is called Blue. In the middle of the night, you held my hand, lifted me, light as a feather, despite my sinking heart, unweighted by the rapid beats it danced to. I was surrounded by both your scent and the bluish hue of darkness. I inhaled. Your arms around me and soft words spoken against my lips. Just then, I let the tangled breath go. An open door invited us into an empty bed, feeling lighter, brighter, blue. I floated in the room, carelessly moving across your ocean, drowning beneath your waves at the touch of our rasping intakes of air. I sank deep into your water, surrounded by the blue, and let myself down into your molten embrace. So it was for my husband, who is, he always watches when I'm doing this type of events. So thank you for all his support. The next one, I have two new stuff, like new wrote it like an hour ago. So this is called Mindfulness. I must keep my strength and quiet the voices inside my head. Never give them the chance to speak, lest I'm convinced again of the meaningless existence and skin this flesh in an attempt to escape. I must observe these thoughts and set them free as soon as they are picked from the deep seas. Catch and release, detach and find relief of knowing without needing to understand. And finally, well, actually another new stuff. This is a little bit longer. This is called If She Will Have You. First the English version, then the Spanish version. If she says yes to your undoubtedly thoughtful repertoire of pet names, will you take her out for an undisclosed amount of times to learn about the things that make her smile, make her cry, make her lose her mind? If she walks towards your car when you call her by her newly earned nickname and accepts the invitation to join you on a leisure drive, will you halt traffic just to open and close her door, drive her off to a new adventure of her choice, somewhere to fulfill the wanderlust behind those eyes? If she adapts to your lack of rhythm and sways to the beat of your hips, her sweat prickling the tip of your tongue, will you leave the spotlight to shine on her? Let her guide your steps as she reclaims the space between your breaths. If she will have you, will you see her whole? If she will have you, will you fix the unassembled pieces you had broken her down into when your eyes first light on her, and your tongue pull apart by pieces her own value? If she will have you, would you even love her? Then tell me, why would you even start this chance meeting by fancying her an object of desire to control and empower and overpower? Sorry. So that's Spanish, the English version, and the Spanish version. Si dice que sí a tu sin duda alguna elocuente repertorio de halagos, ¿la invitarías a salir por una cantidad de citas indeterminadas para aprender acerca de las cosas que le hacen reír, llorar o perder la cordura? Si caminaras a tu coche cuando gritas los nombres que le has dado y acepta la invitación de unirse a tu viaje placentero, ¿detendrías el tráfico para abrir y cerrar su puerta? ¿La llevarías a una aventura de su elección, a algún lado que le ayude a realizar las ganas de conocer el mundo que esconde en sus ojos? Si se adaptara a tu falta de ritmo y moviera su cuerpo al son de tus caderas, si su sudor rozase tu lengua, ¿la dejarías tomar tu lugar bajo las luces, que guiara tu cada paso mientras reclama el espacio entre sus respiraciones? Si aceptara tus avances, ¿podrías por fin verla completa? Si te aceptara, ¿compondrías las piezas en desorden a las que inicialmente la redujiste la primera vez que tus ojos la miraron? ¿Que tu lengua deshizo a pedazos su valor? Si dijera que sí, ¿siquiera la amarías? Entonces, dime por qué siquiera empezarías este encuentro al azar con el deseo de convertirla en objeto, el deseo de controlar y dominar. And this was If She Will Have You. Then finally, Something Borrowed. I've been rereading this one. It's called Bone. There we go, Bone. And it's by Irsa Daly Ward. And this is original and then a translation that I did for it. From one who says, don't cry, you'll like it after a while, and 2 who tells you thank you after the fact and can look at your face, to 3 who pays for your breakfast at a calf home and your mother's rent, to 4 who says, but you felt so good, I didn't know how to stop, to 5 who says giving your body is tough, but something you do very well, to 6 who smells of tobacco and says, come on, I can feel that you love this. To those who feel bad in the morning, yes, some feel bad in the morning. And sometimes they tell you you want it, and sometimes you think that you do. Thank heavens you're resetting, ever setting and resetting. How else do you sew up the tears? How else can the body survive? And the translation is called Hueso. Del primero, quien dice, no llores, te gustará después de un rato. Al segundo, quien te da las gracias después del acto y no puede mirarte a la cara. Al tercero, quien paga por tu desayuno y un taxi de vuelta a casa y la renta de tu madre. Al cuarto, quien dice, pero te sentiste tan bien, no sabría cómo parar. Al quinto, quien dice que dar tu cuerpo es difícil, pero es algo que haces muy bien. Al sexto, con el aroma a tabaco, y dice, anda, puedo sentir que te encanta. A esos que te hicieron sentir mal por las mañanas, sí, algunos te hacen sentir mal por las mañanas. Y hay veces te dicen lo que quieres y otras tú lo crees así. Gracias al cielo estás reiniciándote, siempre ajustándote y reajustándote. ¿Cómo más podrías suturar las heridas? ¿De qué otra manera podría el cuerpo sobrevivir? And that's it for me.
Awesome, Lee. Perfect. I love this background you got working on. You got some eye movement there.
Yes.
Cool stuff. And
my links, and you cannot see my hand, but it's my links, and it has my Cash App and Venmo there.
yeah, that's honestly the way to go, right? Just have everything on screen so you can point to it. Like, yeah, there's the link tree, hit that up, and definitely check out the Cash Up, Venmo if you got some extra cash to throw around. If anything, send something for a little coffee or maybe some dog treats, for the lovelies we got to see at the beginning of the show. her precious babies, those little cute dogs there. All right, cool. Thank you, Lee. As
And
always.
just as an FYI, sorry, my book that's I published through Kindle right now is on an offer, free Kindle book. If you want to, it's on my link. It's the very first link on my link tree. So if you access it, click buy my book, and it will give you the option for a free version of it on Kindle.
Awesome. Yes, that's definitely got to plug that. That's going to be super fun. Check that out if you haven't already. It's a cool collection. And Lee, MV Lee, that's the way to say it, right? Most valuable Lee. Awesome. All right. So I'm excited. This has been fun. I'm always happy to hear everyone's works, especially when you guys are like coming with new stuff every week. That's cool. That's fun. That's interesting. Um, let's see. We're gonna go ahead and keep going. In fact, we're gonna go to. Oh, all right, cool. We're gonna join the homie in New Orleans. We missed him for a couple weeks, but he's back. Let's go ahead and welcome to the show, Atlas. Atlas, man, you're up. You're up. Welcome back. Stage is yours.
Hey, so there's a whole bunch of little rectangles that are dark, and I guess if you can, if you're nearby the screen, it's just you'll understand why. But if you can show your face, it'd just be great to see you. All right, here goes. In that moment, no one cared who the president was or how the people standing next to them voted. Not one person even bothered to look at their phone when a notification sound went off. There was no interest in sharing a TikTok video. No one cared how many followers each one of them had accumulated. No one mentioned newly learned names spoon-fed to them by the media. And no celebrities were mentioned in anyone's conversation. The room stood still. And the silence became the only thing you could see, the only thing you could hear, the only thing you could feel. So many people gathered, 91 to be exact. I counted. There was no sense of competition amongst them. You see, it didn't matter who knew her longer or hung out with her more, or what they ate, what they drank, or what they danced away the night to. There was no point in counting how many yesterdays each one of them could individually claim to have had with her. Because at that point, on that day, everyone was on equal ground, because none of them would ever have a tomorrow with her. Up until that point, she hid away. Honestly, because a lot of the points I've already brought up, she wasn't one for conflict. And it seemed far too often when she wanted to be in the company of someone, to be loved, to be listened to. Each one of them were so attached to their drama, their conflict, their anger, their division. She was a mother, and everyone had opinions on how she should raise her child, who she should date, how she should live, where she should live, how she should decorate the place she lived, even though most of those 91 people and plenty of the others who didn't show, most of them never even knew where she lived. Most of them never stopped to check in. She felt alone. Alone when 91 people ended up showing up. But in the moments when she felt alone, when she took what little energy she had and the strength that she could gather to speak, to be vulnerable, the people who claimed to care scared her. The reason why I am bringing this to your attention is because 11 days ago, my 26-year-old niece took her own life and left behind a 10-month-old son who barely survived 11 and a half hours of being by himself. Now, some of you have seen me decorate the center of a rectangle, I guess. And you'll know that I have spoken about the importance of realizing that everyone is someone else's baby. And far too often in her life, everyone immediately asked how her son was doing constantly. If you've heard me before, you know that I leave my address and my phone number because I, as old as I am, still can't understand why we want everyone to know what we're eating, but don't want them to sit at the table with us. We want everyone to follow us, but not know where we're going until we're there. I honestly don't understand why we live in a world that is increasingly densely populated, and yet far too many people feel alone. I'm not even a fan of technology or social media. But with these tools, I still can't understand why we can't build something beautiful. Why these tools are used as weapons. Why everyone is so hell-bent on holding on to their anger, their division, their hostility, when every single one of us, regardless of how old we are, regardless of what color we are, we all still have the same essential needs, desires, goals, and fears. I don't understand why people exhaust themselves and use these platforms and these devices to shove people away instead of bringing people closer. And I am left wondering, what good is trying to be the one who's always right if it means being the only one who's left? I am so grateful to each and every one of you for choosing to spend your Monday evening this way. I am inexplicably grateful for each one of these beautiful tiny rectangles giving me their undivided time and attention in a world where everyone is definitely competing for yours, to sit, to listen, to hold this space. I am really, really grateful. And if my niece could have gone forward in time 3 days to see the people who gathered and to see what her loss would cause people to do, she'd still be here. It's not worth it. Whatever you're holding on to, whatever reason it is you don't call the people close in your life, whatever ridiculous conflicts, it means nothing, because we are not designed to venture through this life alone, and we should not willingly do things that cause for us to be, to feel, to live alone. Thank you all so much. I'm really, really grateful to see you and to have this time with you. Thank you.
Oh man, thank you, brother. My condolences are very, very heartfelt and painful. But thanks for sharing that, and lots of love. The chat here, YouTube. Yeah, thank you for those words and a reminder. That's all I can say. Just my thoughts. And, Atlas, Thank you for that, man. Saving that address. When I'm out and about in the New Orleans area, man, I'm gonna give you a call. uh yeah. Also, yeah, just some love in the YouTube chat as well. Luis Solano Grip. Yeah, yeah. They send their condolences as well. Thank you, man. Atlas, check out the link Atlas Linktree Atlas Collective. I'm also going to share that so you can check out some of the work. I know you've also been pretty open and we're just sharing your work, and so that link is a good place to see it. And look forward to getting you next time. All right. All right. See you. We'll see you soon. Definitely.
At least you know why I've been gone for 2 weeks. So.
Oh, you got to take that time for sure. Yeah.
Thank you all so much. I really am grateful. Really. Thank you.
Appreciate it, man. All right. So that's so real, man. And that's what happens. We get a little bit of everything today. I'm looking at the list and let's see. I'm kind of rearranging some things. I know we had one of our friends also sign up in India, so I'm gonna try and get her on a little bit. But right now we're gonna keep it going. In fact, we're gonna welcome a first timer here at this open mic, at least. And she's joining us from Seattle, Washington. We have Gina Antonia in the house. Gina, it's really cool to see you here. Welcome. How are you today?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm doing good, and it's really a privilege to follow that performance. So I really appreciate you allowing us to sit with you in that presence. It's extremely meaningful, and I know I felt that really deeply in my body. So I'm just going to take a deep breath, and anyone else can take that with me because it's a powerful sensory experience. So I just hope we can kind of like feel that and sit with you in that. Cool. I'm very excited to be here. Thank you for allowing me this, and I'm just going to get right into it. This is called Stay. I turn myself into a sex object for you so you don't have the opportunity to deny my humanity. I'll do that for you. If you look me in the eye when I'm going down on you, you're still looking down on me, but at least you notice I'm there. If you come in my mouth, will it prevent you from going? You can fuck me from behind if you spoon me while you're doing it. I'll lick every crevice of your body if it means you'll let me lap up just the tiniest bit of your affection. You don't have to love me, I promise. But please, pretty please, make me come too so I can pretend you do. This one is a little bit of a different vibe. It's a little bit darker, just so everyone is aware. It's called An Ode to the Musicians Who Allowed Me to Feel Seen When Everyone Else Looked Away. I watched men scream at the top of their lungs in packed bars and clubs, bars filled far beyond legal capacity, but there were no laws to govern the beauty, the safety of our shared suffering. The fantasy of who I imagined these men to be, of who I needed them to be, was just enough, just barely enough to keep me breathing. Those were the years when the other men in my life would choke me just to remind me how easily that breath could go away. The problem is they were suffering too. The problem is they were sad too, but their sadness got written about. Mine got chewed up, spit out, and dragged by the hair by boys who were being dragged themselves. The head injuries sustained from these concerts were nothing compared to the emotional injuries sustained from men who these musicians told me were just passionate. I'd take a contusion any day of the week if it would help me forget what happened the other days of the week. These musicians made me feel a deep empathy, a deep longing to soothe the men around me who wore the same eyeliner, the same zigzag marks up their arms, and the same profound devastation. If they felt this pain, these musicians told me, it was because girls didn't pay them enough attention. Girls didn't fuck them fast enough, long enough, hard enough, with dead enough eyes. When he carves his initials into my hip bones, it's considered romance. When I carve out a space for him at my birthday dinner, it's considered smothering. When Jesse Lacey croons to me that he is just a man who knows how to feel, I wonder how he felt when multiple women came forward to remind the world that he had violated them, and mostly when they were too young to know you were allowed to call it that. When Davy Vanity sings that scene sluts like it's super rough, I didn't realize that a 28-year-old man had been referring to 13-year-olds. I didn't realize that he had told these women, I'm going to gag your teenage mouths. When Ian Watkins shouts that he still bleeds, does he realize the prepubescent girls he forces himself on bleed a whole lot more? These men were brilliant in their domineering, brilliant in claiming vulnerability in order to claim ownership over the bodies and minds of girls who had been so goddamn crafted, so instinctually trained to take care of them. You can get away with rape for decades if your teenage fan base commits to standing by you, even when you're pinning us down. You either want us to use our mouths to sing along or to choke on penetration that we thought made us the chosen ones. We hadn't yet learned we were allowed to have a choice. When the only man to ever appease your suffering, your teenage isolation, is also the man responsible for the lifelong traumatization of others, whose side are you on? As Taking Back Sunday would tell me, you could slit my throat, and with my one last gasping breath, I'd apologize for bleeding on your shirt. I'd be embarrassed by my own bloodshed. You'd be delighted. To Gerard Way and the other musicians who gave me false hope, sing it with me. I'm not okay, I promise. When will I get my own verse? Okay, and then I'm going to do one more short one. This is in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month. We live in love with bipolar disorder in this house. So I'm going to jump right into it. I go through more cycles than America's Next Top Model. When I'm happy and I know it, I'll hike up my dress, tussle with blow, contact all the men to see who'll be my temporary beau. How long will it take you to come? How long will it take you to make me come down? I don't have time to sleep when the clock is ticking on my joy. You know, I don't have time to eat when I can wrap myself around a boy. You know, I scream, make me feel good, make me feel better, make me feel wetter, until inevitably I have to whisper, make me feel at all. My brain stutters. I'll hit the light on the way out. When I'm happy and I know it, I take my meds. Okay, I'm done.
Wow, Gina. Damn, you went in. Hey,
Snap.
yeah, definitely lots of love in the chat. What do you have going on? What do you like? Do you have events that you do, or how can we follow you and support more of your work?
Yeah, thank you for asking. I'm still like very new to this whole scene. I'm like 6 months in, so it's like such a validating question. I am doing a feature through Inspired Word on June 8th. That's the event starts at 7 Eastern. My feature is at 8:30, but also like very much encourage other people to sign up. You could just sign up for a slot and everyone gets 5 minutes. Would love to have any of you there, and I'll post that in the chat as well. Thank you.
All right, sounds great. Welcome, Gina, and of course, you're always welcome back. Monday nights, late night open mic. Awesome. Okay, cool. That was I'm always excited for a debut and such a yeah, that was a hit. Everyone was loving it. All love all over the place. You got fire emojis and heart emojis in the YouTube live stream, and of course all the love here on the Zoom chat as well. We're gonna go from that to like one of our go-tos, our regular. He's been here every single open mic since we've been starting these. And honestly, he's been such a help. We all love him. And if you haven't got to experience him yet, here we go. Let's go and welcome to the stage. Let's hear it for Kit, Mr. Monday Night in the house.
What's good, Richie? How are you? God, another murderer's row tonight. Jesus. Yeah, I'm gonna see what I can do. 2 of mine and then the cover poem. Let's just get into it because I don't title things because I'm lazy. I wrote this for Finn Bell's open mic last week, and it was a very enlightening experience. I recommend that on Thursdays. But anyway, Keith knows the secret of being a junkie. The only thing that matters to the suits is if you're on time. That makes the drugs a matter of craftsmanship and controlled experiment, just like the rock and roll. We'll leave the sex to one side for now. As long as the work goes on and the tracks get laid down, Then the other tracks can get laid down, and Keith can do as he pleases, until he becomes the only person in the historical record to take moderate amounts of heroin. Measuring precisely and tying exactly with a sterile bandage each time, smooth and quiet as an F1 engine. Not like Graham Parsons, making an unholy cacophony, filling himself with speedballs until his veins rattled when he shook hands. He had to be told to leave. Graham didn't say that he knew he was going to die, but he told Keith his plan for the body, which means it was at least on his mind. He would have a pyre, like a Viking or a Rana. He would ascend to the top of the sky, bounce back down, and his smoke would rise in his preacher's father's eyes to tell him the news that his son knew how to go to heaven or hell whenever he wanted, with nobody's permission. Keith Richards lights his next cigarette with his last one. He doesn't look up at the Paris sky. He doesn't want to know if there's a sign. And this other one, I am not sure if this is a long poem or a short essay or just a Facebook status on steroids that's putting on airs, but I have something personal I want to talk about, and you're all here, so let's do it. Let's be friends. Because my grandmother died on Sunday, and normally these strong emotions provide clarity too, as a kind of apology or fringe benefit, but this one is coming with a lot of confusion and introspection. Some stories about my grandmother. She lied about her age for so long that we're not quite sure how old she was. Nobody in her house was allowed to talk when Wheel of Fortune was on. There were long periods of time when I thought Wheel of Fortune might have been the thing keeping her alive day to day. Once on New Year's Day, it was preempted for the Rose Bowl, and she broke down crying because she couldn't believe it was preempted for this stupid game. It was like the only bowl game older than her, verifiably. So I don't know why she was surprised. But when she was younger, she played Vita Louise in a community theater production of the play Harvey, which is also a Jimmy Stewart movie. And when my uncle played that movie for my cousin, and she saw Vita Louise, she asked, "Dad, did the person who wrote this movie know grandmother?" That's the kind of casting as insult that's only really possible in community theater. Now, if all these reminiscences sound mean-spirited, it is perhaps a product of my mean spirit. As an adult, I did not regard my grandmother fondly, and I treated her with dismissiveness, rudeness, or even cruelty, because I learned as an adult that my grandmother had been horribly abusive to my mom, both emotionally and physically. And I am always the type to take up someone else's battles a lot more fiercely than my own battles. So I lived a lot of my life as an elaborate revenge. And I dismissed the fact that she had always been good to me as irrelevant. And it wasn't until she died on Sunday that all of these very silly childhood things came back to me, like watching cartoons in her bed, which nobody else was allowed to do, playing around in a dangerous fashion on her stationary exercise bicycle. The cousins could join on that, but only if I was there and started it. She wouldn't yell at me. She'd yell at them, but not at me. And just watching the TV Guide channel as a 6-year-old, and us both excitedly saying bump when the old time Chiron was replaced by the new one. It's a completely obsolete form of entertainment and a kind of relationship with her, a closeness that I would have denied in court. A memory that's almost incomprehensible to me now. And I wonder how my mother, the unfavorite, felt when she saw her son become the favorite grandchild against the odds. Maybe there was confusion. Maybe there was an indignance that grandmother had this within her the whole time and just chose not to give that love to her. Or maybe just relief. Maybe just relief that no one else had to go through that the next generation was spared. I don't know what this feeling is. It's not quite grief. And it's awkward. It fits me poorly. I'm not sure if I've expressed it well tonight. All I really know is I've lost my last grandparent. So either I'm never going to feel this way again, or I'm always going to feel like this. And to counterbalance that in both length and tone, our cover poem tonight is Care by Ray Armantrout. Dress like you care. Eat like you care. Care like you care. You don't think apples just grow on trees, do you? A fish taps a clam against a bony knob of coral to crack its shell, which demonstrates intelligence, yes. But is the fish pleased with itself? Alone in your crib, you form syllables. Are you happy when one is like another? Add yourself to yourself. Now you have someone.
That was beautiful, Kit, man. Thank you for those words. You got to share them and get it out. So you got a lot of peeps maybe seeing you for the first time. I know you got a lot of content, your sports writing. You want to share any of that right now?
I would. We're all used to this now. We're all used to this lovely bit of paper. Instagram at Kit Runaway. Twitter at Kit Talk Sports, which is, as the name suggests, this is a pretty artsy-fartsy blog about football. It's a pretty lonely Venn diagram I'm in the center of, but check it out if you want to. And you can always find me on Facebook. If I recognize the name, I'll add you. And not on the paper, on June 5th, I'll be hosting the Tumblewords Project Writing Workshop, a local tradition for 25 years. And I'll be leading a workshop called The New Intelligence. Thank you so much, Richie. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of y'all.
Sorry, I was still muted. Cool. Thank you, Kit. Yeah, check that out if you haven't already. Most of you guys already know, but Tumblewords is a weekly writing workshops that is based out of El Paso, but is also online. So it is led by someone every week, and it's a good opportunity. It's generative writing. Get together and then write, and then you read what you wrote. Simple as that. I know, right? Simple. What does that even mean? All right, cool. Shout out. I'm looking at the YouTube chat. I'm trying to interact more with it. We have our friend Mahal, who usually performs here, sending condolences and wishes, and yeah, there's a sentiment there. Family, simultaneously the most simple and most complex. Yeah, that's true for many of us, right? All right. And of course, I do want to mention this, that these shows are archived. So we do have an archive of all of our past shows, our Monday night shows online on YouTube. If you haven't already, you can just follow us on YouTube, Barbed Wire Open Mic. So if you guys are on Zoom watching this or where else, you can just subscribe. So we have all those shows. And also I'm putting more content. I'm getting more local poets and performers, and I'm going to start filming them and putting that out there. But just, it's not another platform. And you can also go back to these past shows. And Kit, one of the most helpful things he's been doing, is going through every week and adding timestamps of each performer. And that's really helpful if you want to go back and see a specific performance. You guys should definitely check that out. And if you appreciate that, send a little something his way. He sent that info right now, PayPal. So check it out, guys. This is a global open mic, and we're going to go ahead and we have another new performer today. I'm always excited to welcome new people into these spaces with the hopes that they stick around and check out so many more of the others that we have. So our next performer hit us up on Instagram. She's joining us from India. We have Angela Celestine in the house. Angela, are you still with us? I want to make sure you're here. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Just give me a second.
Sure. Yeah. There you are. Awesome.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, welcome.
Hello, everyone. Yeah. So I am Angela Celestine and I am from India. Today I'm going to share a poem in which I have described the psychological condition of a depressed girl and the way she finds the ultimate solution of all her problems in traveling. So here we go. To the Paths Unknown by Angela Celestine. Resting on a settee with mind and rest, a shadow of thoughts to lying abreast. 1, 2, 1, 2. Sliding towards her, giving a devilish laugh, they gently dominate her mind. Daunted heart, faint, shoulders lower curved, with just and abandonment, they've been always served. Enervating gray matter shrugs, seeing fatigued shoulders, pulling empty coffers, withered hands rescuing fresh packets of memories, hauling them from mind, placing them in coffers, pulling, placing, pulling, placing. Hands frail and fragile, she with a clumsy smile buries coffer of memories, a swift urge to fly, run or cross, mind echoing it's time to leave, heavy coffer in fellows on. 1, 2, 3, run. This time not towards the conch shell. Believe me, it's suffocating there to dwell. Run. Mind racing, heart embracing the journey to the blue sky unexplored. To her woods don't seem old. Dense heart carries no hate but veneration for the green and love for dear God unseen. But mind saying go on. Under the Bodhi like Buddha did, or with vagabonds she wanna live in case for a while, or to have a cup of coffee on the shore of Nile. Walking the paths of Norway, so cold, reminiscing the stories that remain untold, to contain the thoughts overgrown, she wanna travel to the paths unknown. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, Angela. Awesome. Thank you. Cool piece.
I'm sorry,
Love. Yeah, love the performance. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you do these often? These online mics?
Sorry?
Do you do these online mics often?
No. This is my third, I guess. Yeah, third one. Hello.
Okay, cool. Yeah, awesome. Well, welcome. I think there's the Wi-Fi is a little laggy, but that's fine. Do you have a
Yeah.
place online where people can follow you and find hear more
Yeah,
of your work?
I'm on Instagram. Yeah, I'm on Instagram with the name Angela Rice, and also on YouTube with the name Angela Celestine.
Sorry, I was muted. If you'd
Yeah.
like to put down on the chat, Angela writes, and yeah, thanks for making it. Glad to have you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. We've had several debuts today. I love it. You know, even a year in, and we're happy to have you guys. So please come back, all of you, and we're happy to have you form a little bit of a community. And it's great to have that support. Like honestly, it's everything, because I think, you know, going into the arts, doing writing or being a visual artist or a musician, I think sometimes, you know, it's easy for people to not support that or criticize it. And so it's nice to be around a lot of like-minded people in that sense, and people who will listen. That can mean the world for someone, you know. It has for me. I'm sure it has for some of you. Awesome, man. I'm excited. That was cool, Angela. We're gonna actually have another debut tonight. It's super cool. I did mention that she performed at our live. We had our first live open mic last month, and she went up and did wonderful. She killed it. She did a great job. And so she's gonna share some prose today. Let's go and welcome to the stage Sarah Critchfield. Sarah, what's up?
Hello. Hi, my name's Sarah. I am coming to you out of El Paso. And yeah, I was just going to read some prose. I do kind of like personal essays on my blog, and I'm also writing like young adult fiction right now. So this is just some of the essays. They're super quick. But this one's called Gia Tolentino Said It Better. I wanted to write my musings about anger and resentment, Do these emotions simmer over obligation or unspokenness? I'm taking sips of the post-COVID renaissance, and joy is bubbling into overflow in the desert. New friends, new guidelines, and new holds onto hope. Relationships are being redefined, and our promises to each other are being renegotiated. I'm a few days away from hugging people I talk to every day and haven't seen in over a year. The caverns between who I am online and who I am in the world demand distinguishing once again. I've made it through the year with the help of extensive screen time and hiding behind humor. It's easy for me to perform earnestness between laughs. For almost 6 years, I've used a Finsta and private Snapchat story to communicate loneliness, desperation, and anger to the annoyance and delight of my friends. I aspire for my honesty to be entertaining. Taking parts of who I hope to be seen as allows for a false sense of control. I'm just a character in need of a story arc. My call for more of myself is why I behave according to articles and advice. My personhood is a work in progress instead of an accepted fact of being alive. This disconnect enables me to see myself as outside of the world. Because of my insecurities and discomfort in having a body, I build distance. In my childhood, they called this imagination. And yet, this discomfort forces me into existing as the sum of others' approval. I can only be angry if it's okay. It must first be okay for me to be anything. And once again, I see myself as an anything instead of an anyone. Validation is more addicting than mango nicotine. I don't know, read Gia Tolentino's book, Trick Mirror. She said it way better. And then my next one is called I Want to Live a Life as Good as a Lord song. I bought a Polaroid printer after writing a stand-up set that made fun of materialism. My politics and heart are heavy, almost to the point of appearing loaded. Watching my memories print out in yellow, red, and finally cyan reminded me of the mechanics of time passing. Even though most of my friends have only existed as pixels in my world for over a year, I feel something crack as I hold their images in my sanitized hands. My face is older. Not even sunscreen kept my skin young in El Paso. My cells have sunk and I wake up coughing. It's not COVID, and trips to free testing sites have tried to tell me that, but COVID is all I think about. Sometimes I'll go for drives and think that Lord is singing about me. We're both growing up and miss our friends and who we were with them. Franklin Mountains stroll past as I cruise 5 miles below the speed limit on Trans Mountain Drive. This is one of the only times I'll ever slow down. I'm in control and the world is beautiful, and listening to Ribs reminds me of every time I listened to it before tonight. It's midnight in St. Louis and my friends had curfews, so I had to go home. We're in high school and invincible to everything but our parents. I'd listen to Ribs and miss the minutes that just happened. I knew we were magic and this wouldn't be forever, even if I wanted that. Friendship was basements and fake IDs and promises and prom. I'm in college and wanted to transfer until I had a boyfriend and he acted like a rosy mirror that told me I was beautiful and unkind to him. I taught myself to skateboard and listen to Supercut by the River because I knew he never left campus after our breakup. Now I'm 23 and sunburnt and staying up too late on a work night. I wanted to journal about my inadequacies and how fucking sad everything at work is without breaking confidentiality or trust. Lord's lyrics tuck me under a weighted blanket and tell me to just keep showing up and make meaning out of every day. It's not enough to feel the lack. And that's it.
Yeah, Sarah, awesome. Those were indeed truthful and entertaining. Very enjoyable to read.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Sarah, really quick before we move on, you know that there's a pattern, a drill going on. I know you got your social media accounts. Would you like to share those with everyone if they want to follow? Because so far I've seen a comedy set and you sharing your writing, and they've been amazing.
Yeah, I'm at No Fake Cowboys on Insta, and then at Critch Please on Twitter. And then I have a blog where I kind of try to keep all my stuff together, so it's more like content based. And I also am writing like a young adult novel and post that on my blog and everything. But yeah, thank you.
That's super exciting. Yeah, I'm glad you took the time to make it today, and we do hope to see you. We do have another in-person open mic this coming in 2 weeks, May 27th, last Thursday. So if you guys are in El Paso or if you're driving through, come by. We're gonna have an open mic at Old Sheepdog Brewery. Beer on tap and good times. And of course, I do want to. First of all, I love that your Twitter handle is Critch Please. That's wonderful. That's excellent.
Thank you.
And also, for those who have been here for a while, definitely understand the whole idea of Kit versus the comedians. So if Kit is giving you praise for your comedy set, that says everything. That's a lot. And lastly, I love that you brought your friends out to support as well. That's really cool. So shout out to the friends and the support. All right, cool. So check it out. We're gonna keep it going, guys. We got a couple more performers. Let me check out the time. All right, yeah, no, we're good on time. We're gonna go ahead and go from El Paso to New Jersey. Kind of a late last. I always just kind of ask if people are here if they want to perform. And before I do invite them, I do want to also give lots of praise to Angela, because she's got some really cool stuff as well. So follow her on Instagram, Angela Celestine, and I do hope you come back as well. Your performance was it was moving, like you can really see when someone's embodying their words and your movement and your speech and your rhythm. It was so natural. So I just had to say that as well. Much love to Angela and Sarah. Their debuts today. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and bring up our next performer, though. He is, I don't know, he's one of my favorites ever since I caught him performing at the Nuyo. And ever since then, everything's always fire. Love what he does. Let's go ahead and welcome Paul Latorre to the house. Paul, what is up, man?
What's good, brother? So yeah, thank you for holding this space. It's dope. I always appreciate being able to come here and unload. Most of the time I just want to come and support and chill out because I'm usually coming off like performing at the Nuyo, but tonight you asked, I was like, yeah, fuck it, let's go, because everybody's pieces were impacting and moving me quite a lot. So I'm gonna read some shit I haven't really found a space for. I mean, one piece I kind of have, but yeah. And also like you kind of sold me on, I really want to come to the BWOMS open mic in 2 weeks, because as soon as you said brewery, I'm like, motherfucker, I will drive from Jersey to El Paso. Do not test my gangster and the amount of miles I have on my car lease, because I haven't driven it in almost a year and a half. All right. So this first piece is an erasure poem of my own, and I guess necessary context is it's in the shape of a gun. This is called Back. I wish I could get through to my friends that depression only ends with us. I wish I could get through to my friends that depression ends. I wish I could get through depression to my friends. I wish I could get through to my friends. I wish depression ends with us. Depression ends with us. I wish depression ends. Depression ends us. Depression ends. I wish. All right. And then this other piece, honestly, Atlas really inspired me to read this. I'm kind of bummed that he's not here anymore, but it's okay. He could always catch it on the YouTube. This is a piece written for my cousin, who's not really my blood. Everybody has the cousin, the primo, whoever is not really your blood cousin, but they are your cousin because you've grown up with them and they've just always been your cousin. This is called Intervention. Not sure if you knew just how much you meant to me, or would intervene if you met me in the same ravine they found you in. They say you don't get to pick your family, but my family did when they met you and your mother. And my brother and you were raised as cousins despite no blood shared. And you were always glaring, a beacon in every room, a strobe light and a lighthouse in one vessel. I mean, who the fuck can contain both those frequencies? Pellegrino, I knew you as Joey, just Joey. Joey, I'm sure you knew Pellegrino means pilgrimage to Holy Land in Italian. Was that where you were on your way to the night they found you overdosed and comatose, Joey? Abandonment lodged in your arm, in predilection coursing through your open veins. I know it's genetic, Joey. I don't get it, Joey. No one could intervene when you were careening in the sky, intravenous, burning up your very nucleus. You were every light in the known universe when the sky was blacked out nebula, Joey. And still you chose to chase your tail, burning a trail into the depths, Joey. You were so fucking astronomically hard-headed, but God, if I didn't grow up wanting to be just a small spark in your atmosphere. Not even an untenable death could make me feel any different, despite the fact if I had one wish I could make upon your fallen star today, Joey, I would wish that you had listened way back when we tried to offer you intervention.
Oh man, great piece, man. Thank you for sharing that. Beautiful.
Thanks.
Yeah. Did you what you got? What do you got working on, man? What do you got cooking up, stirring up?
Ooh.
What'd you like to promote?
So this coming Saturday, Finn Bell, the lovely Finn Bell, who's in the room, is going to have me on her show, The Poet's Lighthouse, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can follow that lovely woman or myself at Po Con Queso, there it is, on the gram. And I will be blasting info about that as the week evolves. We're gonna have some fun, hopefully. mental health awareness month and Mother's Day coming in the same month has been a fucking emotional hellfire for me, but it's also good to bring these things to the surface, because if we don't speak on these things openly, we're just gonna bottle them and then they're gonna, purge us, Thanks again for the space, brother. Really love it here. Richie, appreciate you, man. And we got to get that I don't know. We're getting pressured to do like a back and forth, like music accompanied rap piece, right? Like that's got to take shape soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll work on that. I'm absolutely down. Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm glad. Thank you for that time, Paul. Check that stuff out. He's also got an upcoming feature at a brand new show, The Poet's Lighthouse, on the PGN Poetry Global Network, and the host here is just also one of my favorites. And I messed up. I totally was like, "You're up next," and then I got so excited about welcoming our new peeps that I totally skipped over her. So like that's my bad, it hurts my heart, a little bit to do that. But she's got, as always, some great productions. You've already heard her name dropped several times throughout the show. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let her take it away. It's her son's birthday. That's a celebration. Guys, let's go and welcome Finn Bell to the house. What is up?
Thanks, Richie. Yeah, everybody say happy birthday to my son. He's 27 today. Oh, I'm so excited. I love that little boy. He's still a little boy to me. So I'll just get right into my poems. One slightly older one, and then one that I shared earlier this evening. This one does not have a title to it yet, so I'm looking for suggestions. Tripping off to the zoo, no breakfast in my belly, just coffee. The sensation is a little queasy, no matter. The tiger and the snakes, on the other hand, smell my body. They tell me I taste like daffodils on the tip of their forked tongue. I tell them, shh, that tickles. Stop. No, don't stop yet. We change our course. Planned road trips are for the faint of heart. Today we roll in with the wave caplets, topsy-turvy on top of the ice plants. Our bodies, a mystery to their frozen waves. And then, okay, so this one's called Sirena Sor Juana. A last swig of dark brew, his worries abandon his brow for the night. His 5 o'clock shadow is impatient for tomorrow. He bids me good night, and lights go out all over the world. I temper my aqueous turbulence. I chew on hard time leftovers. My mind clutters, thicken leftovers to chew. No, gnaw really. Lines and meanings and pauses and breaths. I have ample time left on my plate. Lust is not a condiment. Love is not a meal. It is binge-eating madness. If I left entirely to my whimsy, a former self would emerge from the hardwood floor and climb into the attic, throwing down old vices on the landing to play heartbreak with later. I braid him into my life, careful plates. I intone good intentions. I bind him into my anima, twine tightening. I breathe out my longing. There is no longer day or night. I want to strangle him in the sunlight fragrance of my hair. I want to initiate him into the intimacy of how my dreams make me languish in the tangled sheet between my legs. I want to make erratic patterns of sleep, lightning movements drip behind my eyes. I want to compel him to gasp, to convulse and pine in the same seductive rhythm. I bide my time, siren song silenced. I bid him good night and the lights go out all over the world. My limbs cross, uncross, impatient for tomorrow, but my brow is unruffled tonight. A last stir of dark brew. Thank you.
Awesome. Dig it. Awesome lines in that. Yeah, I was thinking that too. The last third dark brew. Great landing line. Finn, your dogs were vibing, you know? They're like, we want to accompany you with that.
They were singing the song of their people. You know, I was like,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah. I mean, I always say it, it's been a while, but like, since they can't snap, you know, they got to find their way to join in and show their love. Cool. So I know we talked about the Lighthouse. Tell us more about these upcoming projects and what you have going on.
The Poets Lighthouse is a show with the Poetry Global Network that goes on every Saturday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. I feature a different poet every week, and we get together for a nice 20 to 30 minute chat about their poetry, about their life, about how their poetry and their life intersect. You know, so if you guys didn't catch the last episode, I had this past Saturday, Eric Tinsay Valles, who is the director of the Poetry Festival in Singapore. And that was a great interview. And he is a wonderful, kind, gracious, intelligent, awe-inspiring man. And my next guest will be too. So yeah, I'm being sandwiched by so much talent. Just love it. Maybe that wasn't the right term, sandwich. Anyway.
Well, you know.
And then on Wednesday, I have a feature with Listen Experience Nashville. It's called Listen, the Wednesday Experience. It's at, what time is it? I don't know. I'll put it in the chat. But I think it's 8 p.m. Central. And I'm going to be featured showcased along with four other poets. I can't remember the numbers. I didn't even drink today. 4 other poets. So yeah, check that out too.
Awesome. I love it. You got so many great things going on. Congratulations on that feature. And for those of you unfamiliar, also check out Fincabulary Presents. That Thursday night open mic we had mentioned. Several of us were there last Thursday for Lee's feature, the whole Paint It Black theme, which was super fun, as well as the podcast. You can find it Fincabulary, the podcast as well. Lots of interviews, and definitely looking forward to more episodes of the Lighthouse, Poets Lighthouse. So sweet. All right, cool guys. We're gonna go to LA. We got some Chicano poetry, and you guys know what that means. Class is about to be in session. Let's go and welcome Teso Somok. What's up, man? How you doing today?
What's up, man? So I have this piece that I'm kind of working through. So I'm just gonna do one piece because it's very deep. So Kit needs to break up with his yellow pad so he can do his PhD on this. Ready? You can hear me and everything, right? Okay, I'm not getting.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, I need some feedback, Richie. Back channel me, baby.
I was giving the thumbs up and then I forgot to push
Well, I
on
can't
mute.
see. You got me on spotlight, so I was like, All righty. So here we go. I'm sorry for the new folks. I already ran through this, but I'm going to slow it down so we have more. And I'll talk a little bit about it at the end. So just kind of how I arrived at this. El pene mata. The penis kills. We've all been fed the same tomes of misdirection, the primal blue sky narratives the victor imposes and demands through their right of conquest and colonization. Such as Bernal Diaz's apologetics that the first illegal conquistador who disobeyed the governor of Cuba, Velázquez, with only 11 ships, 500 men, including seasoned slaves, 13 horses, and a small number of cannons would overcome millions. It was 11 ships full of seamen who discharged through the land in Tehuantepec, the Yucatan Peninsula, at the defeat of Potonchan. The centuries-old tradition of femicide began with the gift of 20 indigenous women. A femicide is the act of killing women or femmes on the basis of their gender and their representation. Gendering is a violence inherited from the discharge of those 11 ships full of seamen. Femicides have been present in our community since the beginning of settler colonialism and the transatlantic slavery. During the settler colonial program in the Caribbean and the American continent, indigenous women were raped by settler colonizers. It was inscripted methodology to conquer their bodies and the land. Religion was used as a tool of control where we taught that only binary gender exists, man and woman. Anything else outside became criminal. From the 1500s to 1867, as many captives crossed the Atlantic as were forced out of Africa by all previous ones dating back to 500 CE. The slave trade was the most massive forced migration in history, where 80% arrivals were of African descent and only 20% Europeans. As the transatlantic ventures seeded the American continent, gender was enacted at the end of the penis. Plantation owners, predating in the cover of darkness, raped Black women to compensate for the resistance of their bucks and increase the wealth of the plantation, a kind of penis profiteering. As slaves and as women, they and their daughters and granddaughters bore the brunt of oppression, victims of sexual abuse, from harassment to forced prostitution, and from breeding to rape by sailors on the slave ships, and then rape by overseers, slaveholders, and their sons in the Americas. It continues today as a weapon of terror. Rape asserts power over and demeans women, their fathers, brothers, husbands, and sons, reminding that they are less than men since they can't protect their women folk, incentivize breeding through compulsion, an appalling feature of the gender-based violence and exploitation women endure. The penis was used as part of a larger demoralization and submission of the community. Quote, I consider a woman who brings a child every 2 years as more profitable than the best man on the farm. What she produces is an addition to the capital, while his labor disappears in mere consumption. End quote, Thomas Jefferson. Slave breeding was systemic, and America was literally built on it and got its wealth by paying less for labor than other nations, ensuring a more profitable outcome. My late grandmother, Bonifacia, would often say that what misanthropic man can't resolve, the earth as a living body would punish as a last resort. According to Global Health 50/50, while men and women contract the coronavirus at similar rates, men are dying 60% more of the deaths. factoring out poor health indicators and socioeconomic patterns, the unequal death rates between men and women comes to the role and biology of masculinity. The studies of masculinity in the US and UK resort to the stress of fulfilling gender norms. Recently, research from the Lehigh University, Pennsylvania, Republic of Korea, University of Cambridge have demonstrated analysis that the SARS-CoV-2 dynamics uses many of the similar mechanics of male sperms, particularly the glycosylated full-length S protein, demonstrating that if glycans are removed from the dynamics of the airplane-like spike structure, it loses its dynamics. These glycans, which are attached at specific sites, help shield the viral proteins from the host immune system, the same way that sperm phantoms themselves through the uterus and oviduct. Pan medicine is using anti-androgen drugs to disrupt key receptors required for viral invasion on cells. Androgen is both testosterone and estrogen. At the core is the use of chemostat, testosterone reducing therapies to prevent viral entry and replication. At capacitation and fertilization, the female glycocalyx is able to trigger a flushing of SPAM1, sperm adhesion molecule 1, DAF126, MRT, CD52, and ADAM, alpha disintegrin associated metalloprotease, and the glycan-laden sperm, much in the same way that the women may be flushing the glycan-covered SARS-CoV-2 virus. The violence of the virus and of the colonization, slavery against women and femmes, and the fact that many of us experience such an intense displacement and silence that we have no language in which to articulate who we are. And so what's interesting here is, and I'm still working on this, is that, so one of the things that was interesting was how the virus phantoms itself into the body. And then, so that led me to ask the question, well, you know, the human reproductive system does the same thing. And so I started to chase this idea of the glycan, which are kind of like sugary coatings around the protein molecules. And it's interesting how it eventually kind of leads to this kind of idea. So if you think about it, like an extension of this would be like Bayer Monsanto would say, you know what, our glyphosate produces xenoestrogens in all the organisms. So they're going to come up with a product that basically says, you know, here's a COVID treatment that reduces your testosterone and it makes you produce more xenoestrogens, which are female hormones. And today, like if you look at some of the glyphosate studies, children experience early onset of puberty and reduced fertility by 30 to 40%. And women have early onset of puberty by 25%. And so it's interesting how, like, you know, that concept of what my grandmother would say, that if we don't take care of it, the earth will eventually resort with a solution and it won't be pretty, you know? So anyway, just some ideas to think about.
Right on. Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing those. Looking at some interesting comments too in the chat there on that. Cool, dude. Congrats also on those publications you've been sharing. Been getting a lot of acceptances. That's really cool. What else do you have going on, or things that you would like to share?
Well, I think that I had a feature last week. It was really great. I enjoyed. Everybody was really receptive to a lot of the work. And obviously, you know, we're tackling really complicated subjects, and you know, hope that takes a lot of effort to write these pieces. And I hope folks appreciate you know, it's like a PhD every week or 2 PhDs every week. It's quite challenging. So I really appreciate everybody's support, and you know, in a sense, really tolerating, because I'm inspired that you guys find this interesting, because, part of them, we don't know how long we're going to be here. And like, for me, this is all about legacy work. I'm leaving this stuff. It's archived in your stuff. So if one day I don't show up, Kid can write his PhD and he won't be disappointed.
Awesome, man. I like that. Cool, man. And then where we can find you online as well.
Yeah, I'll drop it on the chat, but folks can catch me at Instagram under Gashes 2019. And you can purchase my book on Amazon. I have a second book coming out pretty soon. I'm waiting on another publisher, and then I'll make a decision and then move forward with whoever gives me the best offer.
It's nice to have the cards in your hands. Awesome, cool. Check all that stuff out. Hell yeah. Check out that Pandemic Poets group on Facebook as well. And just be kept up to date with all the stuff that's going on. So I'm looking at the list, and unfortunately, we're missing Maddie today. Matthew Marroquin signed up. He's not here, right? Hold on, let me take a quick look. 'Cause sometimes I do miss people if they come in. No. Bummer. Yeah, so Matthew, he's in past shows. Definitely, if you haven't heard him, go back to just any of the past week's episodes, and you can catch any of his work. Again, you can refer to those timestamps. You can also catch him at plenty of the other online open mics. So much love to Matthew out in Storm Lake, Iowa. Let's go ahead and Nico is in the house. He signed up, and for his genre, he just wrote that he's walking. So let's see what that is. I think you're still out, right? Nico, what's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, so I am finding out that El Paso actually has a street named Toddler. Like, I wonder who was like, oh, we need to name this street Toddler. That was kind of interesting. But so a friend of mine may or may not be in a MFA for either sculpture or intermedia, and they had a class where they spoke about walking, and obviously that inspired me to do a durational performance like usual. So like every day for the past however many weeks, I've been walking, I think 5 kilometers or more a day, which has had its challenges, but it's also been really interesting and meditative. Like today I went on Rim Road, and I'm gonna pass probably by like Brave Books, and just go back. And is there any reason behind it? Probably not, except for just to do something, I guess. But I just wanted to let everyone know. There are some obviously important things to talk about, and one of those things is the environment. And Richie, if I could share the screen, please, just for a quick shout out. Okay.
Yeah, man, you can do that.
It's still not letting me. Let's try again. Yeah, for some reason it's saying that someone else is sharing. But anyway, long story short, I was really happy to be part of a celebration of land in El Paso. Recently, the city passed that we should hopefully, conserve wonderful land. And I guess the bigger ask is to make Castner Range a national monument, or at the very least conserve it. So you could definitely, Google, Facebook, Instagram, Castner Range as a national memorial. And there's, a letter to President Biden or any of our elected officials to make it a national park. I mean, excuse me, a national monument. But now I'm here at Brown Street Market, and I guess like it's kind of interesting to see El Paso again, like while walking way too long. But thank you all so much. This wasn't obviously a poem, it was just like part of the performance.
Cool. Awesome, man. Yeah, I think we've had discussions about this in the past. Like, we can turn almost anything into a performance, like stage. Like, I think one time we just wrapped Matthew in a bunch of Christmas lights. And we're like, there you go, performance. I think that was an after party though, but very important stuff. So if you guys are in the El Paso area, you know we got lots of precious land. I mean, that's everywhere, right? A lot of times we don't give the land as much praise as it should, you know, especially some of those eco benefits. So the Castner
Yeah,
Range,
actually, maybe
Castner Range.
maybe it's a next week thing. Let me try one more time to do the share content thing. But I think it might be because you're sharing sound, Richie, that it's not allowing me. But long story short, if you go to the website dedicated to the Castner Range monument action, like collective action, because obviously if people in the community didn't rise up and say this is important to us, it wouldn't have happened. And the Napland, which we just celebrated, and then Lost Dog, I think, which is going to be this weekend, it would have probably just been developed and bulldozed, and we wouldn't have this wonderful eco, I don't necessarily want to say tourism thing, but we definitely have, you know, our ecology, you know, all like, I think there's types of owls that are part of our ecosystem, and it's just also fascinating. So get out there, but be safe, because I think some hikers weren't prepared, or if they were, something happened, and just be safe out there, and thank you all so much.
Awesome, Nico. Thank you for sharing those very important issues, which are related to here, but kind of just true everywhere. You know, we gotta find our fights and our battles, and for justice, and pursue them wholeheartedly. So sweet. I'm looking I'm looking at the list here, and Ed's sending me jokes. Awesome. Messaging me jokes. Let's see. So we have up next. We have Dan the Man, and he said he needed some time to get ready. I assume that was also a little while ago, so I assume he's ready. As you guys know, Dan the Man is our resident closer. Oh, hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Did you get a haircut? Something new?
No, not yet. I'm going to, but hold on a second. Dang, it's running away. Hold on a second.
It's a very precarious setup, I guess. It's fragile.
Wait, okay, hold on 1 second.
Yeah, I've been holding on. Still holding on.
Hold on. Okay. Give me 1 second.
This is performance. You're doing a performance art, aren't you, Dan? You're putting on an act right now.
Kind of, but you might think it's an. All right, hold on. Sorry, hold on. Stop yanking my chain. Okay. Okay, I'm good. All right, restart the intro.
Restart it. Yeah, man. So like a good miracle song, you really got to hold on me. We've been doing lots of holding on, and now is the time to jump on our next performer. We got Dan the Man. Take it away, Dan.
Thank you, Richie. Where's the spotlight? Okay. Thank you, Richie. Yeah. If you guys noticed that I'm wearing a red nose, that's true. You think I'm gonna put up a performance like a clown, like a circus coming to town? No. It's not what you think. The reason why I'm wearing the red nose, it's because next Thursday, the 27th, is Red Nose Day. Yeah, I don't know if you guys heard about Red Nose Day. It's every last Thursday of the 5th month. We do Red Nose Day to help. We're representing our cause to help end child poverty. It's a great cause, one nose at a time. And every day on NBC, we tune in to help make a donation to help end child poverty, and that was a wonderful cause they did. It was so blissful. It was so thoughtful of them. So it's also represented by Walgreens as well. And yep, I got my red nose a couple of years back, when I bought the red nose, and that bought and all right, hold on. And that money that we bought from the rose, it goes straight directly to the donation to help to a charity to help end child poverty, one nose at a time, represent all over the world. So all right. So, and good thing I prepared a poetry, and it is called Red Nose. Yeah, Red Nose Day. Okay. Red Nose Day. What is Red Nose Day? It is the day that's something special to say. Well, is it a clown for a circus that's coming to town? No, not that day. Well, why we represent the red nose? It's kind of like striking a pose, or no, not like that. Not like a fashion to say. Not that the fashion days goes. Well, it's the day. The who knows that something about something about the red nose. Yep. You want to know why we're wearing a red nose? It's because it's something that we represent. They represent a big cause to help the children, and all over the world. Right here in the U.S., right here in El Paso, right here in Texas, right here in the U.S., all over the world. And yes, think of the children. Well, it is the day we want the children to play, and it's kind of a nice day, but we want the children to help go to school and to go to college. It is something we want to help them to have. We want to help the children to have a better education, a better home, a better future, a better life. It's the children all over the world at bay. Who knows? The red nose that represents a big cause to help the children. And yes, think of the children. Yeah, to help all around the world. To help all around the world, we want to help the children. Someone we know, someone we don't know, but someone we may know in the future, or right now, and someone we know, the children we have to help the red nose. To help the children to end poverty. It's a beautiful cause. Yeah, to help the children all over the world. We want to help the children. Someone we know, someone we don't know, someone we may know. It is a big cause to help end child poverty all over the U.S., all over Texas, all over the U.S., all over the world, because that's the priority, the main ration, to make a blissful donation for the cause to help end child poverty, one nose at a time. So, round of applause. So please, it would be nice to help us to represent a great cause to help make a blissful donation to help end child poverty. So therefore, on the last Thursday of the 5th month of every year, once a year on the last Thursday of the 5th month, it's Red Nose Day, so noses on. Yeah. All right, what do you think, Richie?
Nice, man. Nice reminder. I totally forgot about Red Nose Day.
Yeah. I always mention Red Nose Day on the day of my blog, and a couple of, and every single year I made a donation to help end child poverty, one nose at a time. So, but that's what I do, and I would like most likely to help end child poverty, and that's what I do. Wear a red nose, one nose at a time. It's like how we end child poverty, one nose at a time. And yeah, thanks to Walgreens and thanks to NBC to make this charitable cause worth possible. I was so thoughtful of them. I want to thank them, and I'm definitely looking forward for next Thursday. And for those of you who is interested of watching Red Nose Day event on NBC next Thursday, and also would like to help end child poverty by making a donation, help the better cause to help end child poverty all over the world. You guys are more than welcome. So, all right, guys, just Google Red Nose Day 2021. You'll find out the information from. Just Google it. You can find it on NBC or Walgreens. Please check it out. All right, so don't forget next Thursday, May 27th, Red Nose Day. Nose is on. So, all right, let me share my. Okay, that is it. Give me 1 sec.
Just make sure there's no brown nosing on Red Nose Day. All right, guys.
Shoot. What's that? All right, hold on 1 minute. Yeah, hold on a second. I'm sorry. Give me 1 minute.
Dan, you got to bust down some Pagliacci.
Yeah. All right, hold on. Okay. All right, here it is. Read it and weep it. For those of you who are new, screenshot this real quick. If not, just go back on YouTube and screenshot this. So whatever you do, follow me on YouTube. Find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Find my channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Don't forget to like my page, Dan the Man's Weekly. Don't forget the hashtag on Facebook. And don't forget the hashtag Dan the Man's Weekly. Okay, guys, here it is. Read it and weep it. All right. Dang, my camera's about to fall. Okay. Hold on a second. All right, guys. Hang on a second.
All right, Dan. Thank you, man. I think we're good. I think you're good. That was very great message. Yeah. Click. All right, I got a little bit of a delay. I got a little bit of a delay on my mic here, but thanks, Dan. We're gonna go ahead and I'm looking at the list. We did great today. We did miss a couple people, but as always, we gained some new peeps today. Always great. I think I'm gonna get a little bit of rust off. I did retire a piece, but I'm just realizing I haven't performed it in so long that I'm kind of forgetting it. So I'm gonna share a piece or two, and then we'll close out the open mic. As always, we'll hang out for a little bit. If you don't know, it's even though it's late, you guys are more than welcome to stick around. Those of you on the Zoom call, just hang out, talk, plan stuff, all that good stuff. Let's see. So I brought my looper back. Got the looper. It's a vocal looper. It's a very simple one, and I'm gonna go ahead and try this out. So let me know if you guys can hear this. All right, your thumbs up works. Okay. So this is one of my favorite pieces to perform live, and the reason why I'm performing it is it is actually a ekphrastic poem. I based it around a painting done by my friends. It's an art collective in town, Los Visionaries, and it's a painting of a fox with a skull on its face in the desert. It's very meditative, and I need to find it so I could share it on the screen. But it's called Desert Rituals. It's ended up becoming like one of my go-to performances. I even was able to perform it at a couple features. One was one that Paul had put together for his college, for Bloomfield College, and for Latinx History Month. I was able to perform, and also with in Phoenix, in the Phoenix, what was it? The theater. I'm totally forgetting right now. I got to perform as like a little open mic feature. But anyway, it's called Desert Rituals, and I'm busting out because we did have some new peeps today, and also, again, I need to practice because I'm forgetting it. All right, here we go. Oh, see, that's how rusty I am. I messed it up. So it might not sound as good as it usually does because there's missing basses and stuff, but here we are. First, there was the fox, and then so much more as Brother Bear beckons breath, blows the conch, creates the blues and blessings of creation. Ay, permiso. Let us through to thrive. In the desert, you can hear the sounds of existence, breathing in and out towards persistence. See, we're living to be living and living before living, but death wears the mask of the living. We are society, transcendent in incandescent dust as dead stars ignite to incite the unique verse of our universe. Let us elevate to reveal axiomatic truths. If we must die, but not until we have lived. Mira el sol, mira la luna. Bodies of light and yearning elevate. Bloom, children of the cosmos, and return from that ether of timelessness. It is hidden in the lonely nopalito that grows in the desert, that dances in moonlight. You are not alone. You are just the beginning. Persist, little flower, sprout seeds of mandala meanderings. The sacred words are imbued in rhythm. Pay attention, because every movement has its story, and every step has its song. Like, listen, the dance of life and death reveals itself to those who truly listen, who stand triumphant under the glow of a hungry moon. It's as easy as breath, as heavy as life. Here in the desert we learn to survive. You see, first there was the fox and then so much more. These are our residual, spiritual, individual rituals in tune with the collective. These are our sacred desert visions. See, plant your roots and let them grow. Plant your roots and let them grow. Find your voice and let it flow. Let it flow, let it flow, let it flow. Our sacred desert rituals, our sacred desert visions. All right. That's kind of when I kind of improvise the lines a little bit more each time. Oh, Matthew is here. I'm going to see if he wants to perform. All right, I'm going to perform one more. Kind of a work in progress. It's an old one, though. Good to have you guys here. Here we go. Let poetry be poetry. I explain to a room full of students, unaware of their own potential. It's a torrential discourse on the source and divorce of common sense from education. The course which pours through seams of dreams left in shambles, the children and rambles who have become adults, let's call them left behind. Come on in. If you're willing to listen, we won't have to tell the world the moon is shining when we can guide you through the glint of light on broken glass. In the lunchroom, people come and go, speaking of who you have to know. As clumsy guitar chords strummed in a chord in the air slide and transform into magical Louis Bonfa melodies in the hazy red-eye underbelly of this distant reality, just in time to see the futility and eternity. Whatever happened to a time when knowledge was power and books were passports to the uncharted territories of passion and the imagination, to send the sensation of incendiary letters to the better, but unbent deflector sectors of not so silent specters, because this is the kind of stuff that haunts you when people tend to look a lot more like shadows than they do people. It's feeble still. Still, we're here. There's a glimmer, just a glimmer, a glint, but it's a start. Now write it. All right. That was kind of my one education there, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask if maybe Matthew wants to read something to close it out. It's all good if he doesn't either. But
I am okay.
You're okay. All right, cool.
No, thank
Man, you're more than okay. You're great. It's good to have you here. So for the open mic, yo, this is our Monday night. It's the late night. Was it the late mic, as I like to call it? Because if you look at the time, it's kind of late. We're here every Monday. The archive is there, so you can go back and see more shows, all past performances. I'm always I always think of Walter Benjamin, and he writes about art in the age of mechanical reproduction and how art, has an aura behind it, within it. And, if you really take the time to experience it, you should be left feeling drained. That's how it, because I'm thinking of everyone's, what they're bringing up, and there's heavy stuff, and there's funny stuff, and there's satire, and there's expansion of knowledge, right? It's great seeing all these perspectives. So I definitely feel, leave these feeling fulfilled, and definitely drained, because I'm thinking about of all the energy and the aura that people have put into their works. And so I'm ever grateful and thankful for you guys. If you do want to follow us, if you haven't already, BWOMS, Barbed Wire Open Mic Series. You can also follow me online, Richie Marrufo, MARRUFO. If you want to donate, if you have extra over, you don't have to. Just help buy a cup of coffee. That's always good. But we'll see you at the next one. For the live stream, I'm going to go and say peace to you guys, and see you next time.